in Twitch chat, they would say things about like, oh, she's too skinny, or nah, she's fine. And yun pa yung mga tame po. Yung iba talagang bastos po yung sinasabi, pero ni mo-moderate naman po yung chat, so hindi po lumalabas lahat. But usually they talk a lot about our appearance, or ina-assume na parang boosted lang kami, or we're only in it for the attention. Hi, we're the Sibol Hearthstone team. My name is Gia D and my IGN is Gia.
My name is Dustin Monglabnan and my IGN is Winnie Moon.
I would say very much so. Napakalaking pressure din yun, but most of all, I'm really proud to represent the Philippines.
Yeah, same. We're excited, we're training hard, and we're ready.
Pretty often, I think just a few months ago, there was this team tournament hosted in Taiwan, and then I had a team with Chok, our coach, and Stads, who's another prominent Filipino player, and we faced against not just Southeast Asia, but also Japan and Taiwan.
Yeah, I think most of the Southeast Asian community is known to us. We meet them in tournaments overseas. We've met them in person, and we've played with them online on the ladder in various tournaments.
I think nagpapalit-palit po yung ranking depending on the meta, but right now I think we're very strong. For the Grandmaster system of Hearthstone, the only Southeast Asian is from the Philippines po. May isang tiga Vietnam po, pero galing siyang Europe, so parang hindi masyadong counted.
So we meet here at HQ, say 3 times a week for training, but the training doesn't really start and end there, because we train at home. The way we usually train, we train online, we practice on the ladder. We do what we normally do, and then, but it's more intense now because we have a coach, we have a program that we want to follow, and we have goals that we've set.
For me, I just came back from Bucharest po, which was the 3rd Masters Tour of the year. I didn't really do so well po, but yun na lang po yung motivation ko to get better. I will prepare harder, much harder for Southeast Asian Games. I think yung mga tournaments na sinalihan ko po was actually 2 invitationals that were all women. Aside from those po, I was focusing more on casting actually, because my background is more on commentating. Actually, it was just being invited to that one tournament. Hindi ko po inisip na magiging competitor po ako, but because that opportunity arose, they invited, because it was an all-women tournament, and I guess there aren't that many female pro players. Nag-invite din sila ng mga casters, streamers. So sumali po ako doon as a caster, and I ended up winning, so that opened more doors for being more competitive.
When did you start casting?
2016 po, magsa 3 years na.
Well, I used to play Starcraft too, and then I guess there was a lull in tournaments for a while. I was very active in that community, and then when Hearthstone came out, I just tried it. Not consciously wanting to play it professionally, but just because I thought it looked fun and looked interesting. But then I won, I guess, the first 2 tournaments that were held here in the Philippines, and then I got signed onto a team for Hearthstone after that, and I've just been playing ever since.
For me po, it was the women's tournament that I mentioned last year, WSOE 2, which was an invitational, and I managed to win the whole thing. Tapos, yung special po sa tournament na yun is, nangyari po siya the day after a huge patch came out. So they changed a lot of cards last minute, and none of us were aware, so we had to adapt on the fly. And then lahat kami parang di nakapagtulog at all. So I think it was a really challenging meta, but I managed to win, so I'm really proud of that.
For me, I guess it was like in the first few years, I won like I said, the first few tournaments that were held here in the Philippines, and then I think the first Southeast Asian grand finals that was held. I also got first place in that. And since then I've gotten a lot of high finishes in different tournaments, but never like an international one abroad. Never first place in that. So that's what I'd say I'm missing.
I would say my biggest challenge in Hearthstone po was actually as a commentator. Nahirapan po ako kumuha ng work visa for Grandmasters. So that's actually part of the reason why I ended up competing instead of commentating. And I would say na nararanasan po yun ng karamihan ng mga Pinoy. Kapag may tournaments abroad po, mahirap po makakuha ng visa kasi it's not really seen as a real profession yet in many places.
Yeah, I think I've had a similar experience. I think I once qualified for a tournament in the U.S. and my visa for that got denied. So it's a really common struggle. I think not just for Philippine players, but for a lot of Southeast Asian players to especially going to Europe and the US. If there are tournaments there that they qualify for, they don't always get to go.
I would say that we're still a very small minority kahit anong esport pa man yun. With Hearthstone, I would say there's actually a nice active community of women. We talk to each other very often. I had a prep group also for Bucharest, which was all women. And it's not, I think we still face a little bit of, yun naman sa discrimination, pero kasi online po kasi sinistream lahat ng games. And you know, when it's online, there's people who hide behind their anonymity and they say the nastiest things. So, ayun, may mga trolls pa din. But I'd say in person, very rarely naman kami na-discriminate. And then it's more about, I think, just having women be more visible to each other so that mas marami pong ma-inspire na pumasok sa scene. And I think naturally, I think there should be more women entering just as time goes on. I remember when I was first casting po, because konti lang din po yung female commentators. And then in Twitch chat, they would say things about like, oh, she's too skinny or nah, she's fine. And yun pa yung mga tame po. Yung iba talagang bastos po yung sinasabi, pero ni mo-moderate naman po yung chat, so hindi po lumalabas lahat. But usually they talk a lot about our appearance or ina-assume na parang boosted lang kami or we're only in it for the attention. Yun yung mga nakakainis talaga. Pero I think the people that matter don't really think that way. Those are just trolls.
I think in general the Hearthstone community is very, how do I say it?
Accepting.
Yeah, accepting.
Yeah, sa ibang esports po, I've heard
Diversity.
even worse things.
Yeah.
Like, kunwari sa Overwatch po, there was this big issue about this one. I think she's the only pro gamer in the Overwatch League na she has this incredible aim. And then, in-accuse po siya na gumagamit daw siya ng bots ng ibang mga pro players. Hindi lang mga trolls po, pero other professionals were accusing her of cheating. So she did a stream live where the camera was pointed on her hand to prove that she was not cheating at all. And then nung na-prove na totoo talaga siya, those guys stepped out of the scene out of shame. So it's even worse outside of Hearthstone.